Wholly Kaw's Lav Sublime shaving soap, and a discussion of why essential oils might be better than fragrance oils. Hello everyone, welcome to the Take Care Man channel. My name is Todd. In this video, we're going to be using the Wholly Kaw Lav Sublime shaving soap. I've got it pressed in the bottom of the Pereira's shaving bowl here. I'm going to try to face lather and just load out of the bowl. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to load the brush here, and so I'll be right back after I've loaded the brush. Okay, you got the brush loaded. This is the Wild West Brushworks handle with the Maggers 26mm super high density badger knot. And I've got the brush loaded here with the Lav Sublime from Wholly Kaw. This is in the Bufala base, which is the base previous to this one, or previous to the most current one. As far as I'm aware, the Lav Sublime only comes in the Bufala base and in the vegan base. I don't think a lot of the, what I would call some of the legacy scents from Wholly Kaw have shifted over to the Sierra base. Please let me know in the comments if that's incorrect, but I think that's the case. So there's still quite a bit of soap in the bottom of the bowl, meaning soap that's not lathered, but I'm getting all the residual out of the bowl here, getting it on the face before we start trying to add some water to it. So Lav Sublime is a straight lavender and lime scented soap. It reminds me of bergamot lavender from Sterling. And by the way, I was just researching because I've heard some people call a bergamot bergamot, and I wasn't for sure, so I looked it up. And often in French, T's are silent at the end of words, but actually in France they spell it with an E at the end, and bergamot is mostly grown in Italy, and they actually spell it bergamotto, M-O-T-T-O at the end. So in English, it's pronounced bergamot. Not N, I often try to put an N in there like bergamot, but it's bergamot. And you find it most often in Earl Grey tea and in shaving products. It's a hybrid of a bitter orange and a lime. And so this lime, also obviously being a citrus in with this lavender, in this soap certainly reminds me a lot of it. All right, so let's try to get some water in here. We'll make a little cavity in the brush and drop some water in. Okay, all down on the shirt, probably on the microphone. I bought this Purple Rain shirt. I was out of town on a trip, and it's a trip that I had not, that went longer than I planned it was going to go for, and I needed just a knock around t-shirt to have, and I was walking through Walmart getting some other stuff and saw this Purple Rain shirt in my size at a discount, and I had to pick it up. It was an album that I listened quite a bit in high school. Love Prince. Can't believe he's no longer with us. Doesn't get the credit for not, I mean, he gets credit, obviously people give him credit as being an artist, singer, songwriter, performer. He's also an incredible guitar player. I saw Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top talking about how much he thought of Prince as a guitar player. All right, starting to get our lather built here. Let's go with a little bit more water. So I'm really fond of shaving products that use essential oils only for their fragrances. Now I use lots of products. Obviously the majority of the products I probably have use some sort of fragrance oil. Sometimes it's a mix of fragrance oils and a mix of essential oils or absolutes or hydrosols, things like that. I actually became interested in essential oils before I became interested in traditional wet shaving. The Razor Rock 6S in the blue, and I've got a Nasset on its third use, I believe, maybe second. I think it's the third. And so let's go in here with the grain. So several years ago, my sister, and I've told this story on the channel before, I think, but my sister was selling essential oils for, I can't remember if it was doTERRA, Young Living she was selling oils for, but she tried to get me interested in those. And I am a skeptic, mostly because I earned my PhD in social work. And my training for my PhD was primarily in how to do research and statistics. And also how to think empirically and sort of use a skeptical mind to test out claims within the profession of social work and mental health and those kinds of things. And my sister was trying to sell me some of the oils, and I was just real skeptical, and I was like, I'm not interested, get away from me, whatever. And I'm not really sure what led me not long after that to do a Google Scholar search about essential oils. But basically, because of my research training, and statistical training, I can read most articles even outside of my discipline of social work and understand what's being said in the research articles, either if it's an original piece of research or something else, meaning like a systematic review, a little nick there, or more of a theoretical article. So I started looking for systematic reviews on the benefits of essential oils, particularly mental health benefits. And in short, I was blown away by the amount of good quality research on the benefits of essential oils. And I was particularly focusing on those related to mental health. Back to that in just a second. This scent, when lathered, I would say is about a 6 out of 10. Probably the same off of the little sample and out of the bowl. Smells amazing. This is one of the lavender citrus blends that I think is a pretty even split between the lavender and the citrus. One's not really dominating, but what's interesting is there's times you get the lavender and times you get the lime, but most of it is like a well blended scent. So with the bergamot lavender from Sterling, as Rod and Mandy describe it on their website, and again, this is lavender and lime we're talking about here with Wholly Kaw, but they describe on Sterling the bergamot lavender as if lavender had a peel, like an orange peel. And I say that's pretty accurate. It's like a tart floral, but lavender is not fully floral as when I think of florals. It's more of an earthy floral. It's also really bright, uplifting, but just to be sort of brief on what's been reported in the literature through studies, is lavender is really good at helping reduce anxiety. It's also good at elevating mood, helping with depression. It's really, really good as a sleep aid, and there's lots of other uses for it. But those are the three primary ones that I wanted to mention: sleep aid, relaxation, in dealing with stress and anxiety, and some help with depression. Now, let me say that is no substitute for talking to your primary care doctor about anxiety and depression. But just every day dealing with stress. If you've never tried lavender oil before, talk to your doctor about it and consider trying it. This is a We've been buying our essential oils from a company called Plant Therapy. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Been doing business with them for about 4 years, but as of the time of this video, I'm not affiliated with them and not seeking an affiliation.
But Plant Therapy, you're welcome to sponsor the channel.
But this is a roll-on, so this is mixed with a carrier oil, and you can like put it under your nose, add a little oil there. Particularly good if you have a beard or mustache, and you kind of smell the lavender. Lavender is also used in some other mixes at Plant Therapy, like Relax. Tranquil, I don't think has it in there. I think it's bergamot and something else. But Relax does have the lavender in there. But here's what's interesting. Like, we don't fully understand why essential oils work the way they do to help reduce stress and induce sleep and help with depression some. And different oils do different things, but lavender is by far the most researched oil out there, and strong research behind it on all those benefits related to mental health that I mentioned. Here's what's interesting. Our sense of smell is the only sense that bypasses the thalamus. All the other senses are routed through the thalamus, which is a structure in the brain, whereas our sense of smell goes from, basically us smelling scent molecules, whether they be fragrances from fragrance oils or from essential oils, and they go go into the olfactory nerve and go up to like the olfactory bulb close to the brain, and then it's routed into the temporal lobe, which houses the amygdala and the hippocampus. And what's interesting, and this will come no surprise to you, but the hippocampus is associated with memories, and the amygdala is associated with emotional regulation, things like anxiety. And so scents have direct, like literal, direct structural access to the parts of our brain related to memory and the regulation of emotion. And we don't fully understand how the scent chemicals and the molecules and how the gases produced by those affect those structures of the brain and how they trigger releases of other hormones that help calm us down. We don't fully understand that, but we know that they do. So there's an association and a correlation, even though we can't explain exactly the full mechanics of it. But smell is definitely directly related to memory and emotion in a way that other senses are not. All right, against the grain, should point out that if you want to try to mix some lavender oil into products, you need to first check the label on the lavender oil you purchase. It should have safety guidelines on the appropriate ratio. You can put too much in a product, particularly one that you're going to apply to your skin, and can have a reaction. So there's safe ratios. And most of those are ranging somewhere between 1 to 5% on essential oils, and it's different from oil to oil. So look on whatever essential oil you purchase for that percentage. I'll put the link to Plant Therapy's page for lavender down below. I've also linking videos about how smell affects the brain, how smell affects emotion and memory, and also some videos about the benefits of essential oils, particularly related to mental health. All right, and with the Rockwell, with the Nasset on plate 6, lately I've been able to get away with sort of 2.5 passes. I might as well call them 3, but sort of 2 and then a pickup. Could lose a little more water here to activate this just a little bit. Let me just dip the tips just a little bit. And there's a little bit of proto lather still in the bowl here. Oh, in addition to the roll-ons, my family, we have these little inhalers. There's like a cotton swab down in there that you drop the essential oil on, and you can actually sniff these. I used a peppermint one when I had my hernia surgery because I came out extremely nauseous, and they were having my wife, sorry, I didn't mean to go against the grain, but to go across the grain. They were having my wife have me sniff these alcohol prep pads to prevent getting sick. And she switched to the peppermint oil inhaler, and it was much more effective in reducing my nausea. This is a beautiful scent. I like it quite a bit. I might purchase this one when I run out of my bergamot lavender from Sterling, although bergamot actually has more science behind it related to mental health in terms of focus and depression than lime does. Lime is associated with increased mood and even some calming effects in the literature, but bergamot has a much stronger base. Not as strong as lavender, but as strong. So this is a clean, light scent, IMCDB. I think this is one you would like. I'm going to include it in the samples that I send your way. So yeah, that's the Lav Sublime from Wholly Kaw. I had a lot more I was going to talk about Wholly Kaw soaps here, but we're going to do several. So I've got plenty of videos to talk about Wholly Kaw and their different bases. Again, this was in the Bufala base, Lav Sublime. There is currently, I've had to resist purchasing it, there's a significantly reduced priced vegan version of Lav Sublime. It's like, I think right at 20 or 21 bucks on the Wholly Kaw site and other sites, but there's a significantly reduced one on Pasteurs. It's like either $12.99 or $13.99, so you get about like $6 or $7 off of it right now. But according to their stock on their site, there's one left. So at the time of this video, there's one Lav Sublime vegan version of the Wholly Kaw soap there on Pasteur Pharmacy's website. So if you're interested, go out there and grab it.
It'll keep me from grabbing it, so go get it.
But yeah, beautiful scent. Relaxing shave, as you would expect with lavender. And let me rinse off and I'll come back and continue talking about this. So what I was going to say, sort of what I teased at the beginning, was one way that essential oils might be better than fragrance oils is there's not much research to support the same benefits of synthetic lavender scents. Although I was able to find one dissertation from several years ago where someone tried to compare those.
Even though the raw data and the frequencies showed that there was some difference when they tried to control for all the multiple comparisons.
So basically they had too many hypotheses, then the differences were no longer statistically significant. It's kind of nerd talk there. But that's not to say that there needs to be some more research between synthetic scents and essential oils. But the other thing that I would say is that when cosmetic, and that would include shaving stuff and that, when they list the ingredients, they don't have to say what's in their fragrances. And the reason that is because that's considered a protected part of trade secrets. So it might be that a company has a secret recipe for their scent, like colognes and EDTs and EDPs. Even if they were just putting fragrance in there and using only essential oils, they don't have to advertise that either. They can just say fragrance. But essential oils, people can learn which essential oils that they might be allergic to, and usually artisans will put the specific essential oils that they're using if they're using those to scent those, and they'll say it's essential oils. And a lot more artisans are coming out with essential oil only scented lines. Like A&E just came out with a new shave butter that they have, like 3 different essential oil blend scents. And Sterling has a bunch, as I've talked about before on the channel. And so it just helps you identify particularly what's in the fragrance, if it's fragrance with just essential oils, as opposed to if it just says fragrance, then you're not you're not for sure what's in that fragrance, that synthetic fragrance. So it just helps you to sort of eliminate things you might be allergic to, not allergic to, kind of find that out, if that makes sense. So that's why I say essential oils might be better than fragrance oils, and it depends on what your particular, as IMCDB was saying in his last video, in using the 1776 soap that Marion sent him from Wholly Kaw, that it depends on your use case. So essential oils definitely have some research behind them related to affecting mood, and again, there's some links below about that. You could check that out. But again, I just encourage you, if you are experiencing, levels of anxiety that are causing you not to function well, or depression, talk to your family doctor about that. And but also explore essential oils, because the research behind them is tremendous. Now, I know I promised you that I was going to get into some more of these, like old school, or not necessarily old school, but barbershop type aftershaves. But I couldn't do the essential oil one without using something close to it. So I'm going to use the bergamot, lavender, aloe, and witch hazel splash from Sterling, which I love. They have a lot of these aloe and witch hazels in essential oils like vetiver, orange, lemon, bay rum. Their bay rum is essential oils. I think the Ben Franklin is essential oils in terms of fragrance. Just run a little bit in the hair there. Also have the bergamot lavender balm. Get a little of that in here. As usual, we got a little more balm than I meant to. Usually I will thin that out with a little alcohol splash, but I'm going to thin it with the witch hazel and aloe a little bit. Great shave. So again, that was the Wholly Kaw Lav Sublime soap in the Bufala base. A great lime and lavender scent with some essential oil benefits from a sort of chilled out mood standpoint. So I hope you enjoyed this shave. This is Wholly Kaw shave number 2. We have more of those Wholly Kaw shaves coming up. I will have a special shave mixed in there as well. But until next time, take care, man.